Well, here's the thing. I mean, all of this is thinly veiled propaganda in my eyes to further degrade what human beings are on the planet. Um, One of the things that I've always respected about the Christian culture is that they tend to be very. It's part of their beliefs that human beings are different and that we are capable of being stewards for what's around us. The more you hack at the idea that human beings are capable of being stewards and that we're just animals ourselves, the less value you place on human beings in the first place. And that's what all of the Malthusian ideas and frankly the way that we treat humanity currently is based on. It's based on this idea that we don't think there's anything special or inherently useful or noble about humanity. We're just another animal. And, we're an animal that is outpacing its ability to control itself in the environment. So we just need to be murdered off like any unstable population in nature. And I don't think at any point is that true. Like we're not just any other animal.
Yeah, there are.
That only works if we live up to the best parts of our ability to be able to take care of the world around us actively. So like when you're looking at these people, they're actively trying to do things that make us destroy the world around us to make us into the worst thing that we can live up to being, which makes more reason to undo us in the grand scheme of things. It's very frustrating to watch happen.
Of course, and as we've said before in private and probably on the show too, you know, there, environmentalism as a broad general term without any political connotations is something that you and I could both get behind. Like, of course, the environment is obviously important, and I do believe that we are part of a larger system. Humans don't exist in a vacuum. We're dependent on the environment, and to an extent, the environment is dependent on us insofar as an environment is dependent on those species which occupy it. So we do have an inherent give and take stewardship relationship with our environment. And that fundamental truth, I think, resonates with people at a very deep level. So when a political movement brands itself as we're the environmental people, we're the ones who care, they wind up capturing that innate energy, that innate desire for us to care for our environment, and then steer it very manipulatively in a way that will suit their political ends while capturing our energy, our desire to take care of the environment, but not actually doing so. Right? You can capture the momentum of a human emotion and steer it in a way that suits your ends.
As a for instance, like there is a danger of not being able to meet our food needs that I think we face. That this movie does kind of correctly point out. The problem is the idea behind this is to chase something that can't be affected by human beings, can't be undone by human beings, and largely is not going to cause the problems that they believe it's going to cause. The idea that the air is the problem is completely ludicrous. Now, 2,000 years of our farming techniques and CAFOs and the way that we do farm absolutely is going to cause fallow lands like it's already done places throughout history. And there's no amount of nitrogen that we can dump into the soil after a certain place. Sure, our food grows big, but if you look at the nutritional content of it, it's certainly not there in most cases, unless you're growing your own, amending your own soil. Like the bottom line is we're causing our food to be less nutritious, and eventually it's not going to have any nutrition in it at all. And that is a real concern. That is a genuine environmental concern that could create a world like Soylent projects. But that's not the air and global warming that's causing that. It's a problem that most people don't even realize exists, which is that we're depleting our soil.
Yeah. And thereby depleting our internal biome as well. You know, If your external environment is not rich with nutrients, your internal environment will not be either. So it's an environmental problem that's far more holistic, I guess, than the most climate alarmist people at the UN, King Charles, would like you to think. They want to kind of scapegoat this one factor, carbon dioxide.
Well, because it gives them a good way to control things. We can make policies around that.
Well, and when you have one scapegoat, it becomes far easier to animate the public to act, right? If you explain, like, look, this is actually a very complicated problem that's going to require multifaceted approaches, that we're all going to have to take action in some regard. Like, it does come down to whether or not you grow your own food. It's a big, deep problem that has many tendrils that span out and touch every aspect of our lives. Well, you can't use that. That can't be your political platform, because everyone's going to say, well, all right, well, it's hopeless then. I'm not doing that. But if you can just say, like, look, it's this one thing. And if we do X, Y, and Z and take care of this one thing, then by God, we'll be good. But if we don't do that one thing, then everything's going to be underwater in 10 years. That's how you make a political message. It's reductive.
Anything else we got to get out on this one? Like I said, it's a pretty simple concept, but it was definitely an interesting movie. I'm glad I got a chance to finally watch this. I don't know how I've missed it over the years, and I haven't had a chance to get to it. But
It's so good. Everybody should watch it. I love it. This movie gets me in the gut every time. I don't know. It's just,
what's more important to me is it's actually not a very long movie. It's not a bad movie. It's like gets to the point. I think it's like an hour and 38 minutes. So it's not even like a 2 hour movie. I mean, some of the sci-fi movies I watch like 2.5, 3 hours. So being able to get done like a normal movie time was pretty dope.
yeah, and it's compelling. And I get just those human moments. I love the interactions between Thorne and Saul. It's just glorious. Their little back and forth quips. Saul's calling him a schmuck, and it's just great. Those little things that add humanity to this very dismal world. And then, of course, as I say, the Saul's death scene is like one of the greatest scenes in film, as far as I'm concerned. It's beautiful. So everyone should watch it.